My God, wait.
They take.
Do they deserve it?
Yeah, they're six, bro.
Every game, every team, every player. I don't know if they deserve it.
It's what the fans want.
All right.
I'm gonna drink some water. Good luck.
Shout outs to the Bulldogs. Here they come. Shout out to you, Matthew, Chris Crias, Tiam, all the boys that have been waiting eagerly for the past 3 weeks since their team got kicked out by Penrith. Shout out to Ciraldo and Gus. I will get to the whole roster, but obviously there's a format that we have to follow on this podcast.
Oh, you're going to do it after?
Letter grading.
Oh, this is bad. This is when it starts getting bad.
An A+.
For what?
For 6 rounds. An F for the last 6 rounds equates to a C at the end of the season. You came 4th. That was better than last year. Only less than fucking 25% of the team come in the top 4, and you were one of them. You went down valiantly in Melbourne, and you went down the complete opposite of valiant against Penrith the week after, where you cunts gave up. Without getting too carried away or being too harsh and giving you some awful, despicable grading based on the Penrith game.
You're right.
I'm trying to be objective and give you a C.
You're right. Leave it to me.
MVP, there was a few candidates. Shout out to Jacob Carraz. He had a great year, but I'm going with Jacob Preston because he is the future Australian Kangaroos and New South Wales captain.
That's a good one, shout
LVP, for all you guys that follow the pod on a week-to-week basis, obviously you know who I'm going to go with. The man in the helmet. The man wearing the 6/3 on his back. The man that genuinely cannot ride out there at 5'8" win a premiership. Matty Burton. With the expectation on you, you were awful for 90% of this season. Most impressive win. Really, when I went through the archives, there wasn't many. Sharks. But there was the Sharks when you can't want there with no players. Because that was the moment where you announced that we are the real deal. And fuck me, you were not the real deal in the end. What stood out most? Flying start with an equally awful finish for the second year in a row. Rinse and repeat of last year. Again, you gave up to Manly, Cowboys and Manly. And then this year you gave up to Penrith. And their only win in the last 6 weeks was Penrith, not Penrith, where they played them and they were 24.5 point favourites. And even in that game, they looked awful.
I'm surprised you gave them a C, bro.
Also, confusing decisions throughout the year where Ciraldo had just completely lost the plot at certain points with the whole Garland saga. Record against the spread was 12-14. You cunts weren't even profitable as a top 4 team. So, on to you, Chris. What was your letter grading for who let the dogs out? Who?
For a top 4 team, D.
Okay.
I thought you guys finished in the top 4. You didn't even look like a finals team, let alone top 4 at the end of this. Unbelievable. Just shit. MVP, I'm going to go Jacob Carraz. If it wasn't for your injury, you'd probably play Origin. And without fullback. You being able to throw the footy around at fullback and essentially offload, they wouldn't have done shit offensively, especially towards the end of the season. LVP, I have to agree, Matty Burton. No. Bailey Hayward. Forgot about this prick. Yeah, Bailey Hayward.
Your boy.
The next coming of the hooker of the year. You were awful in all aspects. And to the point that you were so bad that when they had to play Penrith in a game that they needed to win, they were like, fuck, we need Marnie back.
Yeah.
That's how shitty he was. And slash, actually, you know what? There's going to be a few. Bailey Hayward / Gus / Ciraldo.
Yeah.
They all deserve an LVP. Whoever made that fucking decision. Most impressive win, Sharks, of course. Least impressive, the loss is fucking Penrith.
Oh, yeah, I forgot Penrith.
Penrith. There's not even an argument. But highlight of the season.
I know the Sharks game was pretty bad. The second one.
The second one was bad. I watched that game live. It was awful. They couldn't score. But now Penrith.
Tigers?
What defined their season? That was bad too. What defined their season was just
the circus show.
The lack of decisions from this team. The fucking lack of balls, lack of ability to just change Galvin and put him in, even if it doesn't work. The first couple of weeks. The lack of offensive ability where when you guys just can't go left in the first 8 rounds. And also all the hype around the training, all the fans, they also deserve to be in the LVP. 8 weeks in, these cunts were winning a premiership. They might have had parties in Belmore. Who knows? But come the end of the season, no one wants to be their fan, except for Matt. Shout out to him. Everyone else has given up on them. Fair enough. They're fucking shit. And I called it, but that's not a point. You're a fan of the club. We sit here and have to talk about Tigers every week and say they're awful. We at least sit there and go, all right, we're back them this week. We like them. But you cunts are just completely off them. And that was like, oh, we're going to win a premiership to completely off them. The changes from Gus and Ciraldo,
truly mind-blowing.
I've got no words, but it also creates a great part here where we can go through every single player that played for Bulldogs. So we're going to let that happen now.
This is a true joy of mine and the
joy of the podcast.
The skit of the podcast, doing team lists for these morons every week, truly gives me joy. And there's a 30-player roster to go through. God. Shout out to Blake Taff,
for what?
The man in charge of the debiting and crediting for this club. Shout out to Blake Wilson. I don't know how many more outside backs had to get injured for you to get a run. When I see you run out in a Manly shirt, I will laugh. Shout out to Bronson Jerry. Probably played a game this weekend and scored in it. Shout out to Connor Tracy, the poor man's Edwards. Fuck me, you try hard, but you are just so mid. Shout out to Hutchison. I did like things better when you were around because fuck me, you cunts were awful when you used to play. Shout out to Inari. You can take the player out of the Knights jersey, but you can't take the Knights jersey out of the player.
True.
When you go to pick 6 the other week, I did laugh at that. Shout out to Karaz. I hope 27 games go by next year, you don't play fullback. Shout out to Rina Kama. When I took plus 8.5 against Penrith, I must have forgotten that you were playing because my commentary around you made Alamotti look like Michael Jordan, which really pissed me off.
Go the Tigers.
Yeah, go the Tigers, mate. Shout out to Lockie Galvin, the most hated player in the league for really no reason. When you go back and look at
it didn't matter.
Their performances, he's the only cunt that gave these cunts hope. Shout out to Montoya. The bravery for you to play through circumcision was truly commendable. Shout out to Matt Burton.
Why?
Actually downgraded himself by playing one good game a month to one good game every 3 months. At the end, I was like, oh, did you? No, just still plays like dirt.
Jesus Christ.
Shout out to Mitch Woods. Don't worry, he'll save them next year. Shout out to Stephen Crichton, the defensive coordinator. I think that his batteries ran out in his headset in the Penrith game because fuck me, they were not listening to him. Shout out to Toby Sexton. You leave with a statue of you built outside the ANZ stadium that I will set fire to once you're gone. Fuck me, you were awful in that Penrith game as well.
Oh, he is.
Shout out to Bailey Hayward. I think you gave him a shout out in the LVP section, which I'll leave it as is.
The best hooker.
Actually, no, I won't. Cameron Smith himself takes notes from this man of how to play the dummy half position. Shout out to Daniel Saluka Fafita. If your eyes aren't working so well and you look at him and squint, you might think it's Payne Haas running out there. Shout out to Harry Hayes. You will be alongside Jacob Preston as the vice captain for the Australian Kangaroos and the New South Wales Blues. Shout out to Jack Todd, again, the next coming that will save them along with Mitch Woods next year. Shout out to Jacob Preston, future Australian Kangaroos immortal and New South Wales immortal, along with being the Bulldogs immortal. Shout out to Jamin Salmon, LAPD, NYPD. Doesn't matter who's after you. There's no hacking into your phone to get the photos of Gus and Ciraldo. Shout out to Turpin. I think Gus has actually adopted him as one of his children because there's no other explanation for this cunt to continue being a part of the club. Shout out to Josh Curran. He's a pretty good player. Why not? Shout out to Kurt Mann. You can't him when he bleeds maroon. Shout out to Moran. I did miss him at the end coming off the back fence because Gus refused to pick a front rower on the bench. Shout out to Max King. Blue is your colour, but just not the New South Wales blue, hopefully for the sake of the state. Shout out to Reid Marnie. You will go down in the history books as the 70th best hooker to wear the blue and white for this club. Shout out to Sam Hughes. I guess because he didn't get his hat-trick, they just stopped selecting him, which I feel like is a bit unfair to the man. Shout out to Tupanua. Probably he's at home right now, shoulder charging the wall, getting ready for round 1 next year to get suspended for 6 months, being the rooster that he is. I feel like one of the funniest things to come out of the season was if instead of playing Burden at centre in the finals game, they put Tupanua there. But obviously, Gus had his own ideas. Shout out to Kikau. He's also a pretty good player. Shout out to Cameron Ciraldo, the lost case that he was at head coach this season.
Oh, we did it.
And shout out to Gus, the man that didn't know Galvin but signed him. So going through this team season, it's probably the most interesting one to review in hindsight because they came to such a flying start. But when you really put your binoculars on and you look at this Dogs team from start to finish,
this cunt's a shit.
Is it really worth giving them credit?
No.
At the end of the day for what they accomplished? What did they accomplish?
They won 9 games
in actuality.
They won 9 games in a row.
They started the season 1-6 in a row, and for the majority of the year, they beat all the dirtbags. But coming off a season where they quit to Manly, quit to Cowboys, quit to Manly again, our question marks on this team was, well, not our, because I want to give you the credit for this, because you have been banging the drum on this for about 24 months now. What's the difference between you and Sharks? At least Sharks beat the top 8 caliber teams in the regular season. They have wins against Melbourne multiple times.
They beat Penrith, though.
You motherfuckers just go out there and lose every single time that you are playing in a game that you are playing a caliber opposition similar to yourselves, right? You lost to Penrith. You lost to Melbourne twice. You fucking lost to Sharks the second time. Sure, you beat them once. You got raped by Roosters. You beat them by 4. Brisbane beat you twice before they were good in any of those times. And when push came to shove at the end and your season was on the line, what you had predicated your entire club's identity on, the defensive side of the ball, got thrown to the wayside, and you cunts just went out there and literally bent over to Alamoti. And in the midst of all this happening, the scoreboard flatters you because you scored 24. And when you ask the question, why did they score 24? Wasn't Burton, wasn't Kickow, wasn't Marnie, wasn't fucking Karaz. It was literally Galvin scoring 24 points for you cunts. And yet, after all that, you want to be the most critical of him because, oh, well, we watch NRL 360 and they roast this cunt every night, so he must be shit. When, if you're actually watching the games, he's the only cunt on with a pulse on this team. So, I'm going to revise my letter grading because, in hindsight, these cunts actually did nothing the entire year besides just beat bum. So, I'm going to give him a D. You coming fourth does nothing for me if you lose every single time.
What's the point? Third, not fourth. I wish they came fourth.
Sorry, third. What was the point? So same old.
The other thing is, I just wish Galvin didn't go there because I know with Sexton the same thing would have happened.
Yeah, if not, they'd just score less.
And they score less. Like I feel like everyone's just trying to scapegoat Galvin, but the same shit would have happened if he wasn't there.
Yeah,
and I don't think people understand that.
It did happen the year prior.
Correct. Same bullshit. They just give up at the end of the year. They're tired, bro. He's fucking running preseason probably from now.
Yeah.
What do you expect? You cannot make Penrith. It's not makeable. Yeah. What they've done is something that will never be done again. You cannot remake them. And I feel like this team wants to be that team. You cannot. It's not possible. It's just not possible. They're robots. When they come out in 20 years and say Penrith or robots in these seasons, you'd be like, oh, okay, makes sense. That's the only way you can explain Penrith. So don't strive to get there, even though next year is going to be the same thing. You're going to do the same thing all over again. And then Galvin's going to score a few more points, so you're going to blow out those teams in the early season. Everyone's going to think, here we come, and then get to finals. And this time you might lose to Roosters, or this time you might lose to Sharks, or this time you might lose to Melbourne again. Who knows? It's the same shit. Well, they get Leo Thompson, though.
That helps. That helps.
Another night.
I think that they are missing
2 nights.
They are lacking a good quality middle forward because Sam Hughes, I mean, fucking hell, boys. But see what annoys me about Bulldogs now is they've actually made next season very boring for us. Yeah, because they've completely absolved the 25-game regular season next year. Where what could they prove to us throughout the week in, week out shit that we won't just come on and be like, yeah, but you quit in the last 5 games of the last 2 years, so you can't winning this game. Okay, sure, you beat Dragons 34-12, and you dominated them from start to finish. Your forwards were too good. Critter fucking did a flick past the Karaz, he scored in the corner. Who gives a fuck? Correct. Does it matter? Did you beat Brisbane? Did you beat Melbourne? Did you beat Penrith? Did you beat Sharks? Did you beat Roosters? No, you didn't beat any of them. Okay, well, until you do.
They were the worst team in the 8. 100%.
They were. I swear on my mum's life, week 2, if they played Warriors would beat them.
Yep, I agree.
And Warriors were awful by then.
No, yeah, Roosters were better than them. Bro, even teams outside, Dolphins would have put a better fight than, at least they would have scored 30 on Penrith.
What's there to say about this team? And another positive for you guys is, well, we have Critter, he's a great leader, and we have Gus and Ciraldo, they know how to lead an organization. We've re-signed them till 2031. Cool. Was that leadership throughout the halfway point of the year?
Did you not see how they played?
Was that something that I can trust going forward of, okay, well, the first time it happened, you can't your fitness ran out at the end and you lost the Cola by 2. That game you probably should have won. Fair enough. You go into the second season, which was this year, knowing what happened the previous year, right? This is new. This is not new knowledge for you cunts that, last year we started winning 50 in a row and then we gave up at the end. This year, let's go out and win 50 in a row and not give up at the end. But then you cunts gave up anyway. So this dog side was, at the end, not only were they shit and playing shit footy, but they were actually infuriating to even have commentary on, because everywhere I looked was, Galvin sucks. But Galvin actually was playing pretty good.
Correct.
At the position they've selected him in. And the narrative around Galvin was so frustrating because it completely absolved the dicks that we call out every week. Kickout was he even playing? Burton was he even playing? Sexton was there in the fucking... that
last game, that did not...
Did he do anything? No, he didn't.
Salmon
Salmon, just... Whew. Max King, he played Origin. Was he there at the end?
No.
It didn't matter. So there's nothing more I can give these pricks than a D plus at the end of the year. These cunts were awful.
D plus, all right. I'll stick with D.
Fucking hell, they were shit. Team. So I think they have a lot to fucking make up for next year. And if they get to a point where they beat a couple top 8 sides in like consecutive fashion, then I might show them a bit of respect. But you cunts beating Dragons, Tigers, Souths means nothing to me.